talking about the technology and CES, man, we should go into one of those events. It's like we always say we should go, but it's just in January after all of the different parties and all of that and travel.
It's so
but
busy, right? Let's ask them to change the month.
we should.
Yeah,
But
just for
and
us.
also it has been boring because it used to be on more on consumer, but they were focusing too much gadgets for almost like phones, right, and tablets, and it's like. But now this year we miss it though because there was a lot of robotics. So what is the highlight for this year?
All right. So, what we heard from the robotics on the robotics side at CES was that Boston Dynamics finally retired their iconic hydraulic parkour robot. You guys remember that big bulky robot that had like the hydraulic systems? Well, they traded in for a fully electric model designed to take over the dull, dirty, and dangerous types of jobs in factories by 2028. So they made this big announcement at CES, and we've seen already peaks of their new Atlas robot, but they're officially saying that they're going to start production rollout. So this is pretty exciting because I remember when the first sneak peeks of this robot came out, that it was able to like do full 360-degree range of motion turns, right? So this Atlas robot actually has 56 degrees of freedom. Now, last week we talked a little bit about what makes the difference between some of these, we call it toy robots, versus these more fully capable robots. It's just degrees of freedom, their brain and stuff like that. So this has a good amount of degrees of freedom. I think what we've seen previously was maybe in the 42 range, something like that. This is
Yeah,
56.
it's a lot more. But you know what is impressive for me is the weight. Um, it's basically about 110 pounds. When a lot of the robots in this size, it is about 70. So it's almost double. And something that obviously is kind of hard to know right now is that a lot of the weight comes from the motors. From they call them actuators, and I think that we have mentioned it before. You have kind of different types of them, right? So it's like a typical motor, and sometimes they put them in the joints. They have different ways, and we can go in detail. Maybe the audience should tell us if they want some episodes for us to go in details on that. But basically, a lot of the weight comes from that because there is a lot of coil and all of that. So for me, moving that amount, it's heavy. It's very very heavy. So I'm surprised that they're able to move it so many motors because even in the legs, if you want to lift a leg, it's a lot of torque that it requires. So there is a lot of good technology. The other thing that is surprising to me is the rating. There is this thing called IP67. Basically, it has a lot of things on the certification, including how much the actuator or the robot will pinch a human. Like if they are close by and if they just close their arm, how you get hurt, right? So up to that, or maybe how resistant to water and how resistant to dust. So this one is pretty high. Usually I have seen 65, and this one is dust proof and can survive moist conditions, even like a steel mill. So for me it's like this one is a good rating to be able to be in factories. So maybe that's what they're looking for, maybe being in a storage facility or in harsher conditions, not necessarily like the Neo X that is just going to be in his underwear, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think that that's definitely one of the things that they're looking at doing. So I think they're thinking of production is going to scale to 30,000 units annually, with the first waves is going to be starting at a Hyundai manufacturing plant. So yes, that's exactly where they're going to send them. And maybe that the whole weight about them is because they're going to be carrying heavyweight stuff if they're going to be in a manufacturing area. So they want to make sure it can actually lift that. Now, by the way, it can lift 110 pounds. I think the Neo one can also lift similar amount. So I think that has to do with the type of technology that the Neo robot is going to have too. So Pretty interesting about the IP rating. I can't wait for it to be like fully waterproof. That'd be kind of cool. If you haven't seen the Atlas robot, check it out. Here's a quick video of it's doing its thing. This is when they were debuting it here. As you can tell, it has a pretty good gait. The way it walks is very smooth. Notice that 360-degree range of motion, so it can do full spins on all the joints. And the one in the blue is the 2026 version.
I I don't know. If I feel it feels to me that the it looks still very robotic. It's not aesthetic. I think that the guys from Tesla did a good job on the product, right? And again, it's for consumer. Maybe if this one is like in a warehouse, who cares, right? But if it's
Mhm.
in like in your house, I don't know. It's like an ugly appliance, right? So I want this appliance to look, or at least ultimately what is going to happen though. There's going to be fashion for your robot. You're going to put
Oh, for
jeans,
sure.
you're going to put a jacket, right, a sweater, whatever, right? So uh, second market is like in the phones is the case, right, that you can customize it to your liking. I feel that clothing, you're gonna put certain clothing for your robot.
For
We
sure.
should make a brand for that, right?
Yeah, let's do it. I think that'd be cool. But you do know, so we did mention like Nvidia, right? With the vehicles, they have their VLA model. Atlas is actually teaming up with Google Gemini, so with their DeepMind. So think about that. So now we've got the Gemini Robotics with Gemini Robotics brain or a model. It's also going to be very similar to that VLA, that reasoning model that NVIDIA has. So this will be very, very cool to see how Google's model works, because they're saying that they can, with this new reasoning model, they are able to learn new factory functions in just a day, right? And like we mentioned earlier, like Tesla's driving model, it relies on just billions of miles of video data, right? And that's how they train their neural net. But with these reasoning models, they can learn things a lot more quickly. So very, very cool differences that we're seeing here. And I'm excited to see like if they can really, using these new robotic models, teach a robot something in a day. I mean, that's really good, because obviously that will be the same tech that we're going to have in our homes eventually. Being able to teach something in a day, so maybe you won't have R1 and R2 watching you and you're nowhere in your home. After all, maybe they just gotta watch you once and then they learn like what they need to do after that first time, and it becomes a new learned skill or policy, right? So I think that's going to be
I think
pretty
that
cool.
it is basically what Tesla did. Has the cameras and probably was recording already. All of these. It kind of sucks that it was without consent, but I think that they just start collecting information around, and then similar here, that this robot has cameras and it's gonna move, so it's gonna collect all of that info, and it's already fully teleoperated, so they can change the firmware kind of easily. So that way, whenever they're ready to be able to do it, they can do it too, right? So um, I don't know if I get my Neo, I'm not going to basically I'm gonna just break it apart and kind of hack it around, right? Like I don't want a person that's very intrusive in my mind. Maybe you don't mind seeing people you in underwear.
Have you seen all the windows I have in my house? It's like you can look inside if you want, man. I mean, take it all in.
I guess like put some clothes on, Ramirez.
Even the UFOs are intrigued sometimes. I think so. Well,
Man.
I'm glad to see that the humanoid robots, they've evolved from just viral R&D videos, like with the Unity doing flips and stuff, into really genuine enterprise tools that we can use just like we use workstations as humans, right? So it's going to be the shift now into seeing these things more in the manufacturing space and eventually in your home too. So pretty cool stuff that we're seeing here. I'm excited to see that on the US side, we've stepped up the game a little bit on Atlas, but I do want to give another show of what Atlas can do here. So give me a second, and I will show you guys. I will show you guys the capabilities of Atlas real quick. So while we may be pretty optimistic about what it can do, sometimes it may not be able to do it as well, but it's catching up here. Oh, whoa, steady. Whoa. So maybe a little bit more training in the flips department. I don't know if you noticed, but like a part flew off of Atlas when it did that flip there.
A part flew off of Atlas.
Yeah, something flew off. I was like,
dude, I mean, can you try to do that one of even a human, right? Like how many humans
more than
can
one
do that?
part would fly off of me.
Like you can only jump like 3 tortillas, my friend.
Yeah, that's so true, man. Man. Well, I think that really covers the topics we had to share with y'all today. If you guys like our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. It really does help us out. Chris Stegman, we are just big kids around here, but we love the input. Glad to see the engagement with our comments here. If there's anything else you guys do want to see, just let us know. We'll keep the jokes coming. We like to keep it lighthearted here. So what do you say?
I hope that you grow up, Ramirez.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But not today.
But not today. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time. Dale.
Cheers. Bye.